All right, hey everybody. Just trying to get a little bit better lighting here. What's up? So I'm just going to run through this week's episodes that are coming out on Patreon, then the ones that are coming out on the regular feed, a couple quick updates. I'll sample just a little of this candy corn popcorn because I have to have dinner. I have a couple questions I was going to answer. If any questions come up, just click through to YouTube and you can chat. I should be here. I should bet. Oh, phone's just driving through. Okay. Shoot. Okay, I just got a text, but I don't know what it was. So sorry about that. This always happens. So hit me with any questions. Let me plug my computer in because also I'm just noticing these are always so professional, these videos. That's why they're unlisted. Okay. All right, we're ready to go. Also, questions. I'm drinking Soleil Blood Orange for Halloween. It's some reason Safeway has two store brands of seltzer. I don't know why, but last week they were having like an unbelievably cheap sale on seltzer. Tastes bloody good. Cool. All right, let me run through the previews. Oh, first off, I want to thank everybody that's participating. Hey, Crazy Pants, in the fund drive. And again, this isn't pressure for anybody. I'm just trying to get 10% of patrons to consider raising their pledge only to a level that they're comfortable with and that works for them. And it's just almost an experiment. I mean, it'd be great if we could get 10%, but 36 people have raised their pledge. So that's almost 10% of the people trying to get in the next 30 days. Hey, Melissa, which is amazing. And it's really just to balance out, well, not even to balance out our tiers, just to move because we're so dollar patron heavy. And then it's just to balance stuff out for the health of the podcast. Anyway, and just like to see, because I've never asked, and people have actually said, "Why? How come even people that are paying $10 how come you're not asking me for more money? If you asked me for 20, I would give you 20." So anyway, that's going good. 36 people out of about 450 would be our goal. So hopefully we'll get there. But I've given up on even it's just a goal to help sustain the podcast. It's not that anything's going to be cut back if we don't reach that goal. I tried that last year and that wasn't really effective. So cool. So thank you to the 36 people that have raised their pledge. And again, don't take this as like, oh, I need to raise my pledge. It's only if you say, you know what, I'm pledging $1. I do get more out of the podcast and I can afford $5 or $10 a month or whatever. Because we only need 10% of patrons to do so. So let's get to this week's shows. We're in the middle of this fund drive. And if you haven't heard the messaging at any patronage level right now, if your RSS feed is enabled and you're listening through a podcast app, you will have access to all of the rewards that come out between October 15th and I think like November 15th. So make sure you have that feed set up. If you haven't, just search your email for Patreon RSS or go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/Patreon FAQ. And at any level, you'll be glad you did, even fund drive aside. Okay, I think that's it. I have so many tabs with notes here. Okay, so what's coming out this week? Tonight was a Good Place episode. Jeremy Bear Me came out, I believe. Is that what came out? Was that the episode this week? That came out. Then tomorrow night will be Mothership Connection, story-only episode. Carole King episode, just a story-only edition. Then Monday. Tuesday night will be episode 689, story only. Mars, Moranis, and Curry. That's a fun episode. Then Wednesday night, again, if you're a patron, your episode numbers aren't always accurate because the schedule's dynamic. But I think it's going to be episode 716, which will come out next week for regular listeners. Dustbusters, which is a Ghostbusters Tale of the Tape, which was a big request. So it's Wednesday night. Thursday night, we bounce back to the old school story-only episodes. 383, Woods of My Youth, which is a on-location ambient episode from 383. Then Friday night is 382, Game of Thrones season opener for season 6, The Red Woman. And then Dustbusters, cool. I'm glad Melissa and Crazy Pants are excited about Dustbusters. I think also dollar patrons, I haven't had time to do this. I literally just got off a plane like an hour and a half ago. But I'm here. I ran a race this weekend, and I'm pretty tired. But what was I saying? Okay, what was I saying? Oh, so the All Night Ray episodes are going to come out. They should be released to dollar patrons. You're going to have to scroll back in your feed to July. I haven't had time to do this yet. I'll try to do it either after the live feed or at some point tomorrow. But those are going to be in your dollar Patreon feed for dollar patrons. You have to have the feed enabled, and they'll be that back there in July. So you'll have to scroll back to July when they were originally released. I think that's when they were originally released. And you'll just see them in your feed. But I have not done that yet. Right now this video is Sunday, October 21st, at 5:51 p.m. So this must, if you're watching it later. Cool. Let me see what else is on the list. So dollar patrons, you have those All Night Ray episodes to look forward to. Let's see. There's a couple questions I was going to answer. Thank you to the pledge raisers. I think that's it. If anybody in chat has any questions, hit me. I'm going to try to answer these questions. I might remember something. I'm washing my clothes right now, or drying my clothes. I ran in this like Tough Mudder race with somebody that I hadn't seen in like 20 plus years. And so all my clothes were covered in mud. And then I had them in plastic bags for like 36 hours. And then I flew back. And then also on top of it, like I had to get all those clothes clean. And then I opened my dryer and I had washed some of Koa's blankets and stuff and put them in the dryer the day I was leaving for this trip. And the stupid dryer didn't dry the clothes. So not only did I have dirty, muddy clothes, I had a dryer full of clean dog clothes that will never get, that have been sitting in the dryer for a few days. Whew. It's luxury, #luxury problems. Okay, where were we? The questions. I haven't had any caffeine in like, maybe I'm just like exhausted. I'm not, I'm trying to think when last time I had caffeine was. I feel like I've had too much coffee, but okay. So Katie asks, oh, my friend, okay, Katie, if you're listening to this, so you were looking for an Agatha alarm, or your friend Angie was, and those should be in the feed. The only thing with Patreon is everything's linear. There's not a search option. It's just a limitation of the platform. So there should be Agatha notifications in that feed. If anybody's listening in the chat and you know for sure, but you would, so depending on your level of patronage, which I wasn't able to, I'm not sure what level people get notifications at, $5 or $10. But you should be able to scroll back and see that. So I guess I should probably answer this question directly. But I was trying to be helpful. Vesna, longtime listener and supporter, was wondering about the move, which I kind of talked about in the episode, but I think like with the chat and people being asleep. So I just moved not very far, Vesna, from where I was living before to someplace closer to my daughter's school. And I wasn't in a pressure move situation. Like I was looking for a place that was closer to my daughter's school. Check. Found that would accept dogs. Check. Found that with 2 bathrooms or 1.5 bathrooms. Not check. With what was my other? Oh, with a place to record the podcast, which almost any place I would find. Check. That accepts somebody that works for themselves. So wouldn't be able to verify ability to pay rent or whatever. Check. Landlord here is a small business person, so they understood the situation. And yeah, mostly just moved to go someplace closer to my daughter's school, where ideally we were like it was just a really long, just closer to my daughter's school, a little bit more space. We got a place where it really worked out because we have a little bit more space, but not that much more space. So I don't know if people have been in this situation before where you move and you don't need any more furniture. So that was really nice too. Like where we moved and it was like kind of like, oh yeah, we don't have to buy a bunch of stuff or be like, oh, we need this. So that's a move situation. And then let's see what other questions. Rachel asked about Rachel's Patreon feed. I think my Patreon feed may not be configured correctly. I'm a $5 patron, but I've been receiving intermittent intro-only episodes. No, like so, Rachel, the feeds are always kind of configured correctly because it's just. But as a $5 patron, you still get the intro-only episodes that go out to the public on holidays. So we did one on 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day this year so far. And then you also get the story-only versions of those. So those also hit your feed. So those are the ones that you're seeing in the $5 patron feed. The $10 patron feed is usually getting intro-only episodes from earlier shows where when I do them for holidays like upcoming Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff and New Year's, it'll be like in the 600 episodes. I hope that answers that question. And then let's see, one more question came up about me and the Mystery Bard, who I just saw in person the other day. This was on the $20 patron Slack group, and it's not loading for me. So when I had some candy corn. Oh, here it is. Ben asked, what's the backstory with you and the Mystery Bard? Are you IRL friends? How to get a spot making the lullabies? So, Ben, and anyone else wondering, we are IRL friends now. So, yeah, we're friends. But he lives in East Coast. I live on the West Coast. But, yeah, he was just out here for a conference. He crashed at my place, and we had dinner together. But how did Mystery Bard and I come to work together is a podcast story. It was I was a fan of his. I discovered the mystery. I'd heard of him because of a song a day, the project he does, and then I started listening to ATP, the Accidental Tech Podcast, because I had heard about ATP on Script Notes, the podcast I've been listening to for a long time by John and Craig. Things interesting to screenwriters. Things about screenwriting interesting to screenwriters. And John listened to ATP, and he was talking about ATP, Accidental Tech Podcast. Marco Arment, Casey Liss, and John Siracusa are the hosts of that show. And then I said, I started listening to this ATP. I liked it. And they have they have a theme song that Mystery Bard wrote. And they also have, and I just liked it was a really funny song. And then I think he also has a song for John Siracusa as part of I think it's the ad reads for Cards Against Humanity. He reviews toaster ovens. And I think that also has a theme song that the Mystery Bard did. So I was a fan of the Mystery Bard. I hit him on Twitter a couple times. I think we probably had a couple short things. And then he heard me on Sampler podcast, I believe, a Gimlet podcast that Brittany Luce did. And I was interviewed on there about Sleep With Me. And it was very nice for them to have me on. And the Mystery Bard heard me on there. And I remember because I was on the bus 51A when he pinged me on Twitter and he said, hey, maybe we'll find a way to work together. And then we started talking. And it was like, oh, what about these? I'm a big fan of jingles. And what about jingles for the sponsors? And I was like, oh, okay, well, we're trying to find a way to get more sponsors on the show to support the podcast. But it's hard because people are falling asleep. So they don't always remember the sponsors. And so then we were working on this idea, and that's the story of the Mystery Bard. So now I'm going to have this candy corn popcorn. It is crunchy kernels of popcorn covered in sweet coating that tastes like candy corn. I'll be the judge of that. Oh, yeah. It smells like caramel corn. And there's a couple different colors in here, so that's interesting. There's a yellow and a golden. Looks like caramel corn a little bit, or toffee corn. So I'm going to, oh wait, there's 3 different colors. They don't tell you this on the instructions. So I'm going to have these 3 pieces at the same time, which makes sense, I guess, because that's the 3 stages of candy corn. Another book by Gingerbread Press. 2058, The 3 Stages of Candy Corn. Now, I gotta let you know, I'm a huge caramel corn fan. I don't eat it very often. Actually, I like to make my own. This is good. It's more like a it's more like a caramel corn. I'm gonna have to stop because I won't be able to stop. Something like a caramel corn, kettle corn. I don't know if this was on a live stream that I tested out. They have birthday cake popcorn, which is another candied popcorn. And that's my favorite Trader Joe's seasonal candy bar, the birthday cake candy bar. And the candy bar is kind of like white chocolate with sprinkles. Maybe it tastes like cake batter. I don't know. I just like it. It reminds me of I don't know. I just like it. But the popcorn, it tasted like Fruity Pebbles. Like the sprinkles were flavored. And it just wasn't my thing. I said, well, if I want to eat Fruity Pebbles, I'll go to the store and eat Fruity Pebbles. So, but this one, at least initially, is delicious. Let's see what else it says, just to cover all of it. Here's the trick to this Halloween treat. We start with freshly popped fluffy kernels of popcorn. No duh, that's why it's called popcorn. Giving them a spirited sprinkling of salt. Okay. And then coat them in a sweet and crunchy candy shell. Yep, check. What materializes a snack I'll disagree with this, that so uncannily evokes the classic flavors of candy corn that it's almost spooky. I would say kind of tastes like candy corn. Janet asks, are you going to do a new episode about the closet? I don't know. I mean, maybe one day. I had some reporters here last month, or like someone from Vice News, and they did some filming of the closet and in the closet. So right now that would be the introduction in the new closet. I think it's kind of like a new team member, this closet, Janet. And the closet can definitely hear me because it's not very far away. But it really has to work its way into the family and develop a body of work. Like that poor closet I had at the last place. One, I never named it, still didn't, but it was no, it was a climb-in closet, and this is more of a Harry Potter closet because it's like under these stairs, like a half set of stairs, or maybe they're 3/4 stairs. But so it'll have to develop a body of work. That poor closet before, it definitely was there for like 700 something episodes. And then it lost its job very suddenly because it was like I'd been looking for a place for a long time and kind of budgeting and figuring out how am I going to move. Like, this is just not a great area. And I had these spreadsheets where I was like, oh, and what's going to happen when college starts, what it's going to do to rental prices. And like, I just happened to find this place. Like, literally, I've been searching on Craigslist. I kind of knew all the pricing. I knew what I wanted. I knew kind of the trade-offs. Like, oh, it'd be great if we could have the dog and have a yard and 2 bathrooms. Would be great. But, with pricing and being like, well, and not having a job at a company or like whatever, it was like, oh. And then this place came up and I looked at it and it only had 1 bathroom. It doesn't have a yard, but it has a deck. And it has a closet. So it was like, and the landlord knew. So it was like, okay. And we were the first people to look at it. And he was like, okay, this place is going to go fast. So, you're first in line. So then I had to go right home and tell the closet, like, looks like this is it. So we'll see. Probably we'll do one at some point. But I guess the new closet kind of got you never know. Maybe the closet will develop a quick personality and I'll have to do an episode about it sooner. But it's just like it's very similar to the old closet. It's just narrower and longer and it doesn't have a door. So I had to get a divider. I think I did some shots of it on Lens, but those don't persist. So maybe I'll try to do maybe I could do a preview video maybe next week or something. The other thing is the internet's not great. But I could try to do a video from down there so people could see, because there's like this room divider that I had to use as a closet door. Yeah, that's what I'll try to do. Cool. Any other things? If you're in LA, I'm going to be at Verge Fest. I'm doing it in a show in the lounge there. The details I was tweeting, I'll probably tweet them out again soon. The tickets everything's through Verge Fest, but you can buy just tickets to that show. It's going to be a limited number of people. I would love to sell it out to make them happy. But yeah, also if you're thinking about it and you're in LA, please buy a ticket. I'll be there. Who knows who else is going to be at this Verge Fest thing. I mean, the lineup is phenomenal. So I'm just totally honored to be there. But it's going to be in this really cool lounge. I'm going to do a really sweet episode that I've tested out in the Bay Area that's like geared towards this kind of live thing. So please come by. Please get the tickets. By buying a ticket and coming to the Sleep With Me live shows, you show that this is something that's viable, especially when I'm working with a third-party company and it's their live show, really. And I'm performing, be a huge help. It'll be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. If you're in the Bay Area and you're a patron, I'm going to be doing a show on Halloween. A Halloween show on Wednesday at the same place I've been doing these live shows. And as part of the fund drive, it's free for patrons. I was like, I'll do $5 patrons free. And I was like, it's the fund drive. All patrons are free. So please come to the live show. If you're in the Bay Area, it'll be free. So yeah, those are two things. The LA show is not free. It's not my live show, but most live shows, in a position to do them for free anyway. But for patrons like this one, I'm like, okay, it's part of the spirit of this thing. So please, hit me up with anything. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your positivity. If any of the moderators are watching, thank you so much for the work they do with that Sleep With Me community, listener-based community. There's like really a lot of work going on there, and that's kind of something they're doing to create the community and spread kindness in the spirit of the show. And that's it. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your Sunday night. I'll talk to you later. No, wait. What's coming out this week for in the regular feed? So tonight was Good Place, whatever, episode 5 was that? Episode 4? Jeremy Bear Me, or is that what comes out next week? 7/13, episode 5. Jeremy Bear Me. And so next week it'll be 7/15, which is an episode that comes out this week. Oh yeah, it comes out Thursday night, right, or Wednesday night on NBC. In I think the title of the episode is "The Ballad of Donkey Doug." So it's about Donkey Doug, who is one of Jason's people. Cool. So that comes out next Sunday. And then Wednesday is Stan episode 11 will come out in the main feed. Got one episode left in the Nuns in Space Stan Chronicles. Then we still have a recap episode to come up, and then we'll start our season 4-episode season of holiday series. Hopefully I can get Ray in the studio for a show for 2019, even though I'm trying to get him booked for Thanksgiving parade show, but I don't know. But I have a pitch. I talked to Ray about something this weekend, so I said, hey, why don't you come in the studio and talk about that? So we'll see if I can get Ray in the studio in the next week or two. Right now things are just hectic with The Good Place because the turnaround's so fast. And then just getting this one more episode for our holiday series to get done. And then I'll start working on our series that's going to start out 2019. I got Doctor Who episodes I'm also working on for when The Good Place is on like their winter hiatus, and then for after the season concludes. I haven't been able to watch the new Doctor yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to putting you to sleep tonight. Also, if you're looking for any podcasts, use this hashtag to search Pods in Color. Thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you. Let's say, wait a second. I just remembered one more thing. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.